guys, welcome to TFL Classics. My name is Tommy, and with us, of course, is
Andre,
our resident Russian mechanic. And here's our brand new project truck. This is a brand new Ford F-250, and it's a great truck, but it's $55,000.
but we're here just north of Fort Collins to pick up a new project truck, which is more affordable.
Quite a bit more affordable because we've got a surprise in store. So let's bring David, the owner, on camera and tell us a little bit about the new TFL project.
Oh yeah. David, good to see you again.
Hey, glad you came.
We did a video on your GMC truck.
That's right.
You had a Cummins swap. It was very popular on our channel.
Right.
But then you called me a couple of weeks ago and you said, you know, I have another truck for you guys. What is it?
Well, so I was looking for a camper because I want to go to Alaska with the blue truck,
Okay.
and I was looking for a slide-in camper.
Okay.
And the one I found had a truck attached to it.
Okay.
And so I took the truck and the camper.
Okay.
And then I called you up and said, I've got a truck. You want it for free?
And then Tommy said, well, heck yeah. so can you show it to Tommy?
Yeah, we sure can.
All right.
So this is one of the craziest days at TFL because you're gifting us this truck.
I am. And the stipulation is once you're done with it,
Yep.
then we're going to auction it off for Mountain States Children's Home.
Absolutely. So this is a 1989
89
Ford F-350.
F-350.
And the plan is we're going to do our usual thing of video series around it, comparing it to new trucks, old trucks, take it off-road, maybe Moab, fix it up a little bit, and then it's going to go to a great cause.
Yeah, it is.
So tell us a little bit about how long you've owned this truck. I mean, probably pretty recently, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago I found it.
Okay.
And I brought it home, and of course I had to take the camper off of it.
Yeah.
So that I could keep the camper. But I've checked it out a little bit so that I give you a truck that at least isn't just a big pile. But actually it's in pretty good shape, Tommy, because I think an older man that had owned it and used it as his hunting camping rig.
Wild.
And it's got the 7.3 diesel IDI, and it's got Dana 60 front end and 5-speed manual transmission. So I think it's going to be a fun vehicle for you to mod and do whatever you want with it.
So what do you know about the truck? It's an 89. We'll talk about the engine because it's really interesting in a sec, but are there any modifications? We can go around the side maybe and point some of those out.
I think the only modifications, it's got some funky springs on it, but I think you might want to put some tires, wheels, springs,
Yep.
shocks. It's got some rust. It's not as bad as Rusty Boy.
Yes. I'm looking at that now. I can tell you it's not as bad as Rusty
It's
Boy.
not. You can see it's got a few rust spots. But check out the interior. I mean, it is super clean.
Let's take a look here. Oh my God, it's brand new, David. I see what you're talking
There's no
about.
cracks in the dash, and the seat's nice, and I think you're really going to be happy with this truck.
Well, once again, I mean, we're so stoked to feature this and to have this on the channel, so thank you again, and it's going to go to a great cause. But this is kind of an interesting series for a lot of you guys out there, I think, because a lot of people want to have fun with these classic trucks, want to turn it into an off-road rig, but don't have 55 grand for a new truck.
That's right.
And this is a really great platform too, because the 89 F-350 had an interesting set of axles on it, which makes it kind of rare, right?
Well, it does. I mean, the Dana 60, it's the high pinion.
Yep.
And so that's desirable.
Yep.
And it's even got some skid plates on the fuel tank. And I think just, with a little bit of mods, you can have this thing up and running and go into Moab.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
the
think
nice
you're
thing
spot
is
on.
it's a long bed, but it's a single cab, so
Yeah.
the wheelbase is going to be pretty decent for wheeling up in Moab.
I mean, the cool thing too is like it's not hugely dented on the side like a lot of these are.
Right.
And the bed looks to be pretty clean.
Yeah, missing a tailgate. But
Missing a tailgate.
That's
we
all
can,
right.
We can source one of those.
Yeah, we
It's
can
an
find one
F-series.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's but so far, I've driven it quite a bit just to check it out, and I think it's going to be a good one for you.
Well, let's pop the hood. Let's take a look at that engine.
Sure.
Dual batteries.
Dual batteries,
7.3 liters.
7.3. It even has air conditioning, Andre.
No way. Have you tried the heater?
The heater works great.
'Cause
so
it's a
you're
little
gonna need it. I know.
All right. So
I think it's original. From what I don't know that much about 7.3s.
Yes.
But from what I've looked online, I think everything's original on this, and you might want to put injectors in it, or return lines, but I haven't found a leak yet.
how many miles? What's the odometer say?
Odometer says 58.
Okay.
But
So it could be 458. It could be 58.
it could be 58. I mean, as good a shape as the interior is in,
Yeah.
there's no wear on the
It's-
brake pedal or the clutch pedal.
It's probably low mileage.
It could be
yes.
low miles, but
Tommy, I think we have a diamond in the rough.
I think we do literally have a diamond in the rough. So these are actually really interesting engines. So back in like the late 80s, when Ford wanted to do a light duty diesel for their, their passenger trucks, they actually went to International
that's right.
to do a partnership to come up with this engine. So super under stressed, I think, is a friendly way of saying it.
yeah.
Because there's no turbocharger.
Right.
Right. And it's not even direct injected. So indirect injection means it has a pre-chamber where it mixes the fuel and the air before it sucks it into the actual combustion chamber.
Which makes it good for wheeling.
It does,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this like classic thing. I mean, the big trend in the off-road world now is to stuff a huge engine in like a Jeep with 44s, which is over-engine, under-axled.
Right.
And this is like the polar opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super under-engine for horsepower and torque, but it means you're never going to break it
And I
off-road.
think it has 410 gears.
Wow.
So I think it should be pretty good. I don't know about the transfer case, what it's geared at.
Yeah.
So you'll have to play with that and see if it's low enough to, go climb some rocks.
All right. So, David, you're absolutely right. I mean, look at this dash. There's just nothing wrong with it.
There's no cracks. I mean, everything is clean on this truck. Everything works good. There's no splits on the seat.
I mean, even like the boot here for the shifter, like there's
Right.
just no tears in it. So we're out here. It's probably what? Just over 32 outside, would you
No,
say?
it's about 24 right now.
Okay, I'm way off that then. So show me kind of how the starting procedure would work.
So we're gonna watch our weight start light, and I haven't started this at all today, okay? And it's been a cold day, so we'll see how many times it takes to turn over. For an old truck, it does pretty good, but she smokes to start.
Yeah, I mean this is well before your.
So our light went off.
Yep.
So clutch in.
Oh, come on now.
Wasn't too bad.
That was awesome. That is killer. So, looks like we even have something like the original radio here.
Yeah, you got the original radio. Like I said, I don't think this truck's been tampered with over its life. We got ourselves a CB, Breaker 19, and we got a gun rack.
So, how long do you think the gentleman before you owned it?
So the title was 99. So I think the family had it since 99.
Wow.
So, but I think he may be passed by now.
Wow.
But so I think this was his hunting, fishing, camping rig, and he kept it in good shape. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, we're so excited. I
Yeah.
mean, Andre hasn't slept for I think a month at this point, so we're stoked.
It takes it about 4 or 5 minutes for it to work, and then it quits smoking.
Yeah.
But she's smoking pretty good right now.
Well, I mean, this is well before emissions equipment, right? So
Right.
no, there's no
Right.
depth. There's none of that on it.
You have a lot of animals back here.
I do.
Tell me about this guy.
Oh, I got into yaks about 6 years ago,
Okay.
and he's my herd bull.
Okay.
Had him for a while. He's a big boy, but I enjoy having
Do you
animals.
think this
he
makes
looks
him?
similar? He may be a little nervous about you. He might challenge you.
Well, no, I'm nervous about him.
Maybe not a good idea to turn our back on him. No.
What's his
he's
name?
pretty gentle. It's Cooper.
Cooper.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's a
okay.
gentle beast.
Okay,
Yeah, he's a fun one to have.
nice.
So, David, you're super knowledgeable about these old trucks. What got you into trucks to begin with? What's kind of the story there?
Well, I've always had a truck.
Yeah.
My old 72 GMC sitting back there, I need a truck for the farm.
Sure.
And so I've always been a truck guy.
So, is this like a granny low, or is it more of a standard first gear?
Yeah, you won't need first gear.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
emergency brakes on. So
Is
you
there a
pop
handle
that
here?
off.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I see you've got your dimmer switch actually on the floor there.
It's old school.
Wild. I'm so happy the lights work, by the way. I was like,
Yeah.
what works, but
Blinkers.
electrically, even the fan, does the fan work?
Everything.
Crazy.
Everything works.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think of some of the newer trucks? I mean, you've got a kind of a fleet of older stuff. Are you happy with the direction the manufacturers went, or are you more...
Well, I guess I'm kind of an old school. Let's put it on defrost. It's cold enough in here. We need defrost. I'm kind of old school.
That's way down there.
That's way down there.
Kind of old school, got it?
I'm old school on trucks. Yeah, I probably will be forever.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, this is such an interesting era of, Ford F-Series because it's like a clash of old and new. I mean, you've got the old school kind of upright windshield and the old school steel hood, but you start to see more of the curves and the plastic dash.
Right.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, this one has more plastic in it than my 90. Of course, my 90 is still out of the era of the old square bodies.
Square bodies.
Right. So it was
Sure.
kind of a holdover from that era. But this one had, some things about this truck that's different than the GM product.
Yeah.
Is the tank, the two fuel tanks, both fill on the same side.
Which is a very handy thing, yeah.
Which is a handy thing.
But I'll tell you what, right off the bat, like, the engine seems super happy. It's not choking, it's not coughing.
Right, it's strong. I mean, it actually lays rubber.
And, the funny thing is if you read some of the owners' perspectives, these IDIs have a bit of a reputation for being super slow, but even up here at altitude, I mean, it'll accelerate, it'll do what you need it to do.
It's got some pep to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you're going to be happy with this truck.
Well, the plan is, I think, right off the bat is certainly tires.
Right.
Because these are kind of coffee coasters.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a look at the lift, because you mentioned it was kind of a basic block lift.
It is.
Being from like that farm perspective, what do you prefer about the old diesels compared to the old gas? And have you ever considered a new diesel? Have you ever thought about upgrading?
Well, the fact that I work on my own vehicles, that makes old school a lot nicer to have because the new electronics you just can't work on. You
Right.
have to have all the equipment, electronic sensors and so forth that you can't work on. Having an all mechanical diesel truck is much easier to work on and
Gotcha.
cheaper.
And the great thing is, I mean, you saw underneath the hood on this truck, there's basically no wiring going to the engine whatsoever.
No, you just have the wire that opens the solenoid to let the fuel through.
Right. And I believe this is a mechanical injection pump engine.
It is.
Like your Cummins.
Right.
So you could lose both batteries pretty much, full electrical in the truck, and the engine should still remain running.
It should, yeah.
But right off the bat, I mean, the transmission is super simple to use.
And the clutch feels good, doesn't
It's
it?
really good, yeah. And the brakes are a little squishy, but
They
they
are.
seem to stop the truck.
I think you're going to need a master cylinder
At some
on
point,
it,
yeah. Yeah, I'm super impressed. I mean, it's rough on the outside, but it's got kind of a good heart,
It does.
It seems super happy.
It's fun to drive.
Let's get Andre in here and see what he thinks.
Okay.
Let's do a little. Does the parking brake work?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I tell you, there's not much that doesn't
amazing.
work on this truck.
Andre, it's your turn.
The parking brake works?
Yeah, parking brake works.
No way.
Almost everything works on this truck.
That's great.
Yeah, give her some gas. Let her have it. Or
Dude.
diesel. Diesel, actually.
Give it some diesel. They're not
Some
going to get
diesel.
shoved. They're not going to get shoved.
No,
Hey, the gears are pretty positive
it is.
engaging.
I mean, the clutch feels good. The gears feel good.
Unreal, dude. It's a beast. And low range is there too?
It does have 4 low. And the hubs work. Locked it in. I've already got it stuck once. Doesn't have lockers.
Okay,
So
well,
you might have to put a locker in it. At least a rear locker.
that's okay. I mean, sometimes a little bit of brake, 2-foot driving a little bit,
Yeah.
you can kind of modulate it.
It's got a 4-inch block in the back right now. The front springs, I think the guy added them himself, so you don't want to change all that up.
I don't know if the coolant gauge is working. Do you know? Have you noticed?
The temperature did come up
Okay.
when I was driving it, so I think maybe it's just so cold right now.
It is pretty chilly.
It hasn't had a chance to come up, but oil pressure works, charging works, fuel gauges seem to work. I'm not sure the fuel gauge, it's a little bit miscalibrated. You see how it's passable
Yeah,
right
it's
now?
way- yeah.
So I think when it's empty, it might be at a quarter or a half. So you'll have to be careful when you learn that one. Over time, you don't want to run out
I'm
of
sure we're
diesel.
going to be in the middle of nowhere near Moab when we learn that. It's just kind of running at about 1200 RPM, and it doesn't care. It's just going.
All right, David. So I have the title. Here's $1
Thank you very
to be
much.
legal. Thank you for the truck. Really
I hope
appreciate
you
it.
think it's a good deal.
Yeah, Andre, what do you think of the truck?
Oh, it's a killer deal. It's amazing.
It's a killer deal, and it
Thank
could be
you.
yours soon enough, guys. Be sure to stay tuned here to TFL Classics and TFL Truck, because we're going to do a bunch of mods, have some fun with it off-road, and then it's going to go to a great cause. So be sure to bid it up, because it's all going to charity.
Yes.
Very good.
All right, thank you guys for watching. As always, it's Tommy and David here.
Hey, thank you, Tommy.
Yep, Andre?
And of course, go to tfltruck.com where this truck will also be.